Planet a Singly 2, marketed in American cinemas as Planet Single 2, is a Polish rom-com and the sequel to the domestic hit Planet a Singly. The movie picks up where the first one left off and follows the troublesome relationship of Ania Kwiatkowska, a music teacher, and Tomek Wilczynski, a Millionaire TV show host. They are lovers who met on the app Planet Single. The film opens with a shot of Warsaw to show how much the application's popularity has skyrocketed since the first movie, and shows people using Planet Single to get together with people who they think are the love of their life, or just casual relationships. The camera then shows an office room in which people are discussing a new show called The Miracle of Christmas, which is Poland's first Christmas special show, and will go on for 12 days, having its finale episode on Christmas Eve. Ania and Tomek, known as the most celebrated couple in Poland, are the co-hosts of the show. The presenter explains how modern technology can bring together two people from completely different walks of life through online dating, and goes on to explain how Ania and Tomek are called the Cinderella and Prince Charming of modern times. They are basically the example that the app can actually bring people into relationships. Meanwhile, Ania and Tomek are shown having a quarrel, which results in both of them leaving each other, and Tomek changing his status on the app Planet Single as single again to get more dates. This is unbeknownst to the investors of the Christmas show, however, and they think the show will be a great marketing strategy, and decide to go along with it. Ania moves back in with her mother who, to her surprise, has completely different hair, and has started wearing shorter clothes. Ania finds out that her mother is also using Planet Single, and is leaving for a date with a man called Silver Fox. The date with Silver Fox does not go as planned, as he is much older than in his photos, and he basically catfished Ania's mother. Ania then calls her friend Ola for emotional support, who is busy doing yoga. Ola's family is introduced, her out-of-shape husband Bogdan and their daughter Zoska. Bogdan has grown tired of Ola's yoga and thinks that the whole thing is just a scam, but Ola convinces him to give yoga a shot and come down to a class on the following Wednesday. He refuses at first, picturing the yoga guru to be a much older guy teaching yoga only as a bid to be around younger women, but then agrees to go for Ola's sake. Tomek meets with Marcel, the man who pitched the Christmas show, and refuses to be on the show with Ania, telling him to find another guy to do the show, because he does not want to be anywhere near her. Marcel tells him that his career is already in shreds, and if this Christmas show goes up to be a hit, Tomek's career will revitalize. Tomek, in a bid to revive his down-the-drain career, eventually agrees. Bogdan goes to the school where Ania teaches music and tells the kids that they've been selected to perform on national television on an upcoming Christmas show, with Ania as the host. She tells Bogdan that she is a small-town girl who is frightened of going up on stages with a large number of people, and going in front of such an audience is something that she is anxious about, but Bogdan reassures her that she will do just fine. Ania then asks who will replace her as the music teacher in the school, and Bogdan informs her that he has already found a substitute, Radek. Ania doubts Radek's credibility to be around children, as he has never had a teaching job and does not know how to discipline children. After briefing Radek on how to be a better teacher, she agrees, and both Ania and Tomek are back together for the show, although not romantically involved, and adamant to part ways as soon as the show is over. Fans are delighted to see the couple back together, and the popularity of the show goes through the roof. They attend a morning show the following morning to promote their upcoming Christmas show together, where they explain the breakup rumors were false, and just for a promotional campaign for the Miracle of Christmas. Bogdan attends a yoga class with Ola, where he is shocked to see that Panir, the yoga teacher, is completely the opposite of what he imagined him to be. Handsome, young, and having much larger genitalia than him. He grows jealous of Panir, and suspects Panir of flirting with and having ill intentions towards his wife Ola. Meanwhile, on the set of the show, Ania is shown trying to get a candy bar from the vending machine. The vending machine gets stuck, and a handsome young man resets it to get the candy bar for Ania. It is revealed that the man is Alex, the founder and owner of Planet Single, and chief producer of the show she and Tomek are hosting. They instantly hit it off, and Alex develops feelings for Ania. She also, thinking that she has moved on from Tomek, does not refuse Alex's advances, although not acknowledging the same feelings for Alex. Alex asks her out to a planetarium, and asks her if Tomek will join them, to which Ania replies Tomek has other plans for the said evening. Tomek is watching all of this from the side, and starts to grow jealous. He confronts Beta, a celebrity dancer who he previously accused of having fueled intercourse with one of her fans on his previous talk show, and falsely tells her that all the grudges he held against her are no longer in his mind, and pretends to hook up with her to make Ania jealous. However, he stops as soon as Ania passes by, calling him a pig. Later at the studio, the kids are shown to have caused a ruckus and destroyed Tomek's puppets, which are beloved to him. He finds the last puppet in the hands of a boy named Olaf, who is overweight, and berates him for ruining his puppets, and goes on to insult him about how fat he is. This results in the nearby children laughing at Olaf, and Olaf's self-confidence is left shattered. Anya jumps in the middle of the altercation and tells Tomek to leave Olaf alone, as he is already bullied enough. Tomek later finds Olaf sitting alone in the lobby and apologizes. Olaf tells him not to worry, and the two share a laugh together. He later asks Tomek to treat Anya better, because she is a good woman, and Tomek starts to regret his decisions. Saska, Bogdan and Ola's daughter, is an intern in Marcel's studio, as Marcel is the show's presenter and set manager. After one night's performance, she is found sleeping in the studio by Marcel. He wakes her up and asks why she was sleeping there. She tells him that she thinks that her family are estranged, and that she fears this will cause a rift between Bogdan, Ola and herself. Marcel tells her that these things often work out with time, but is saddened suddenly when he remembers that his own mother abandoned him when he was a child. Saska, driven to make things right for Marcel, goes online and finds out about Marcel's mom. She sends him a letter addressed by his mom, containing her whereabouts and present phone numbers. Marcel is infuriated at Saska for invading his privacy, and shouts at her, telling her that she has no right to poke her nose around someone else's family matters. He apologizes shortly after, realizing that Saska did what she did in order to make him feel better, and apologizes to Saska, but asks her to let the past be the past and not to bring it up again. Bogdan and Ola go to a yoga birthing center, as Ola is pregnant and looking at yoga for a painless and pleasurable birth experience. There, they look at different ways yoga can be used to minimize pain and maximize pleasure on occasion of childbirth. They are hungry after the tour and sit down for lunch, where they find out that the yoga birthing center menu is full of bizarre items like placenta smoothies. Bogdan nearly throws up and storms out, shouting at Ola that all of this yoga birthing facade is a waste of time, and that Saska was born normally and is perfectly healthy. It is revealed that Saska is not Bogdan and Ola's daughter, but Bogdan and Teresa's, and it is Ola's first pregnancy, which is why she is so worried about it going to plan. Alex and Anya go on a date to a planetarium. There, they watch the Amur asteroid formation, and Alex tells Anya about the new artificial intelligence matching system soon to be introduced in Planet Single, known as Gravity, which is launching the day after Christmas, and will completely change how people look at the app. Gravity will help finding perfect matches for applicants on the app so that situations like Anya and Tomek can be avoided. Anya asks if Alex knows that she and Tomek are not together, to which he replies in the positive, cementing the fact that he has feelings for her. Anya, although still loving Tomek at heart, starts to reciprocate his feelings half-heartedly. Anya returns home to find screaming and moaning coming down from her mother's room. She enters to find her mother tied up and a masked guy having intercourse with her, to which she assumes her mother is being. She hits the masked guy with a lamp, only to find out he is Radek, the substitute teacher who Bogdan hired in Anya's place, and what they are doing is consensual. She is embarrassed and distraught, and breaks down into tears. Her mother comforts her by explaining that it is very difficult for an older woman to find love on the app, as all she matches with are old geezers or perverts, and that she met Radek as he is the guy who plays piano at her mother's favorite restaurant, where she would often take her Planet Single dates. This causes Anya to wonder if Alex was right, and that Gravity will be better at bringing people with common interests together. Anya meets Tomek on set and tells him she had a date. Tomek pretends not to care and expresses that he is happy for her moving on, although he clearly has feelings deep inside. Later, Beta mistakes her and Tomek's previous encounter to be as if Tomek really loves her, and corners him in a dressing room. She comes on to Tomek and takes off his pants. They both are caught in an accidental position where it looks like they're having sex. Anya walks into the dressing room and mistakes that him and Beta were, in fact, having sex, and storms out. She goes to Ola's house crying and asks her if she should give Tomek another chance, to which Ola responds that she should not, because Alex is far younger, better looking and established than Tomek. Bogdan is eavesdropping on the conversation, and makes it out to be that Ola is leaving him for the yoga teacher Panir. He goes back to his old room, which is filled with photos of bodybuilders like Arnold and Sly Stallone, and has gym gear inside of it. He starts lifting weights to gain his old physique back, so Ola will not leave him for Panir. Alex and Anya go on an augmented reality date, powered by an experimental version of Gravity. It is shown that Gravity allows the users to control everything about the date, from clothes to venue to music, by being connected through virtual reality glasses. On the date, Alex confesses his feelings for Anya, which she is shy about responding to. He goes on to say that if Tomek is bothering her, he will throw Tomek out of the show. Anya has mixed feelings about this proposal, and again neither agrees or disagrees. She goes to Tomek's place drunk, and tells him that she went on a real date this time. One thing leads to another, and they end up having sex. Tomek wakes up the next morning to find Anya gone. He shows up at the studio restaurant with flowers, thinking that he and Anya are back together, and confronts Anya, who passes the whole thing off as a drunk encounter and wishes not to speak of it again, not knowing yet that she still loves him deep within. After a while, he finds Anya and Alex together, and after seeing them so happy being with each other, is heartbroken. The channel's owner, who thinks that Marcel's show is a bid to grow their popularity on the internet, hires a group of exotic Turkish dancers and asks Marcel to fit them in the show. He also hires Leroy, a balloon-popping dog whose video got 60 million views on YouTube. And again he asks Marcel to fit Leroy's act into the show. He thinks that having all of these viral influencers will result in a ratings boom. Bogdan is shown working hard to get back into shape, while using a picture of Panir in front of his weight bench as motivation. He goes on night runs, lifts weights, and eats a healthier diet to get his body back into shape as soon as possible. Marcel decides to listen to Zoska's advice and compiles a photo album titled, My Life So Far, and then goes to visit his mother. Her granddaughter opens the door and mistakes Marcel for a cable guy. Marcel goes inside and talks to his mother for some time, but is unable to confront her as her son, seeing as she has moved on with life and started another family without Marcel and his dad. So he introduces himself as someone who works for a television broadcasting channel and offers her free backstage passes for the show's finale on Christmas Eve by making up a story that her husband won them in a lucky draw he entered a couple days back. His mother is grateful for the opportunity, but refuses and tells him that they won't be able to make it, as Christmas Eve is for family. Marcel, with a heavy heart, leaves and throws the photo album in the trash. Tomek throws the flowers he bought for Anya into the trash, and is met by Olaf, who is smoking a cigarette right outside the studio. He tries to take a puff, but coughs as he has never smoked before, which makes Olaf laugh. The two share some jokes, and Olaf acknowledges that Tomek is not as bad as people make him out to be. Tomek is getting ready for a performance when Alex calls him down to stage number 2 and tells him that he knows he and Anya had sex, but he understands that getting over a relationship can be messy. He also shows him their compatibility rating was 8.2%, and the relationship was bound to fail. Tomek explains that relationships can't be calculated on machines, and that a little trouble doesn't mean he doesn't love Anya. He lists all her favorite things, hobbies and pet peeves, and says that Alex's little device will never tell him how to love, for love is a feeling that no electronic device can measure. This scene is very beautifully portrayed by dressing Tomek in white and Alex in black, showing the difference in their narratives. Alex then announces before Tomek that he will be proposing to Anya right after the final act, as both their goals are the same: marriage, stability, and a family. Back home, Zoska is sad seeing her father and stepmother ignoring her and calls Teresa, asking if they can spend Christmas Eve together, because things are bad back home. She says she has other plans, and Zoska hangs up. Tomek goes to Anya's house to meet her, to finally confess he still loves her and apologize for his past mistakes, but her mother says she's out with Alex. Tomek asks if she's at least happy, and her mother says Anya is the happiest she's ever seen her. Tomek is depressed and heartbroken, and looks sadly at Anya during a performance for the show. After the performance, he looks at Anya and Alex having a conversation, and finally comes to the realization that Anya has moved on. She is finally over him, and the spark in her eyes is that of true love. He blames himself for not being good enough, and wonders if it is too late to rekindle their broken relationship. He meets with an agent who proposes a comedy night show, and she tells him he will be the next John Oliver if he comes to Los Angeles. Tomek agrees, and says he can't live in Warsaw knowing that the woman he loves will marry another man, but the agent passes it off as a joke. Tomek starts to pack up and leave right after the finale ends. Back at the studio, Leroy, the viral dog who got 60 million views on the internet, eats 9 erection tablets belonging to Beta, and is extremely sexually aroused and in an aggressive state of agitation. He bites Beta's ear off. The lead singer for the event finds out he can't sing because his throat is bad. Marcel is told to handle all of this and make the finale work, or his career will be over, so he does his best and calms down Leroy, gives the singer some tea, and hopes for the best. Panir visits Ola and Bogdan to spend Christmas Eve together, where he sees that Bogdan has his photo in his room, along with photos of shirtless bodybuilders, and is convinced Bogdan is a closeted homosexual. Back at the studio, Beta and the singer's tea bottles get mixed up, and the singer drinks whiskey-infused tea, causing him to be severely drunk right before the show. Tomek and Anya meet on set and have a conversation about being nervous, as that day is finally the big day which will be broadcasted worldwide. But Tomek asks Anya to trust him and look into his eyes when things start to go wrong, and he will take care of things, as he is a seasoned TV show host. Anya and Tomek go on stage, and Anya is very nervous at seeing such a large crowd at first. Her stage fright gets the better of her for several moments, before Tomek holds her hand and tells her everything will be alright. Anya has a newfound sense of confidence and improvises all her lines with ease, right before the singer is cued. Despite being drunk, he performs exceptionally well with an electric guitar instead of singing lead vocals, and is praised by the audience. Back at Bogdan's house, Panir says that he knows what Bogdan's true nature is, and Bogdan says he knows Panir's. Bogdan says that he will finish it there and then, and Panir agrees, not knowing that Bogdan is not a homosexual, and leans in to kiss him. Bogdan pushes him off, but not before Ola walks in on Bogdan and Panir sharing an awkward kiss, and is furious enough that her water breaks and she goes into labor. Bogdan texts Zaska, who does not want to go at first because she does not want to miss the big show, and everything has to go perfectly, but is persuaded by Marcel, who tells her she will regret not going to her little brother's birth for the rest of her life. The show starts going better than planned. Leroy, still under the influence of erection tablets, messes up his balloon popping act. Alex buys a ring for Anya, which he plans to give her on stage right after the show. After the show, Tomek goes off script to praise Anya and all she has done for him. He wishes to say sorry to her and get back together with her, but cannot muster enough courage to do it. Anya also adds some improvisation, because she saw from the way Tomek talked what his real intentions were. She says some lines as the show is closing, but she too is unable to develop the strength to say sorry to Tomek in front of such a large audience. The show ends, and everyone at the studio is thrilled, because despite being fueled for disaster, the show went better than they all expected. Tomek leaves for the airport to go to Los Angeles. Alex proposes to Anya, but Anya tells Alex to get up. Their story is nothing short of a fairy tale, but she still loves Tomek, and it would be extremely disrespectful to Alex if Anya accepted his proposal while her heart yearns for another man. Alex is shocked and says that he measured on the app that they are 92% compatible, but Anya tells him that love cannot be measured by devices or percentages, the same thing Tomek told Alex before. Alex accepts this and wishes Anya all the best for her future endeavors, although he is also heartbroken. While on his way down to the parking lot, Alex hooks up with the hairdresser who worked on the show in an elevator. Marcel's mother visits the backstage afterward and apologizes to him for abandoning him, telling him that she thought he'd turn out better without her, which he did. She says that she is proud of her son for what he has become, and asks Marcel to forgive her for abandoning him all those years ago, which he does in a heartbeat, saying that no child wants to hold a grudge against their parents. Meanwhile, Anya asks Marcel where Tomek went, as she finally wants to get back with him and tell him she was wrong all along. Marcel says he has left for the airport and plans to leave for America permanently. He hands Anya a coat and tells her there is a taxi downstairs waiting for her. Anya hurriedly gets in the taxi, which is hijacked by her mom and Radek, who is now her mom's boyfriend. Together they rush to the airport to find that Tomek has already boarded the plane. Anya calls him and tells him to get off the plane, but it is already too late. Anya is unsure if she will get the chance to set things right before Tomek leaves, but Tomek devises a plan to get off the plane. He tells everyone on the plane that he has a bomb in his bag and plans to blow the plane up. He is immediately arrested and escorted off, where Anya is waiting for him. She tries to plead to the police officers that Tomek is innocent, and he did what he did to get off the plane for her sake, but they don't listen to her, so she says she is his accomplice and is arrested for the charge of obstruction. Tomek and Anya are thrown in the back of a police car, in which Tomek confesses that was the sexiest thing he has ever seen, and Tomek and Anya kiss passionately while heading to jail. A monologue is heard in the voice of Marcel, which follows up on what Marcel said at the start of the film. Love in real life and love in stories is different, because in real life there is no happily ever after, but maybe it's a good thing that there's no happily ever after, because the real deal is so much better. The movie then ends, as the closing shot is that of Warsaw International Airport ridden with dozens of police cars and bomb disposal vehicles trying to neutralize the hollow hijacking and plane bombing threat, and Anya and Tomek en route to jail, sharing a kiss in the back of the police squad car.